Chosen one. God prepared your new home. Step into peace. The time has come for you to step into the reality you were always meant to walk in. This isn't just about a location, it's about divine positioning. It's not merely about an address, it's about alignment. When God prepares something, it comes with completeness, comfort, and clarity. There are no gaps, there is no confusion, and what has been prepared for you is not only new, it is sacred. You didn't stumble here by accident. Every disruption, delay, and detour has led you to the doorstep of what's already yours. Your name is already written there. Your atmosphere is already established. Your future is waiting, and it is cloaked in peace. Watch this video until the end and write your warmest, most heartfelt wishes in the comments, and write Amen along with the number 99. This moment is powerful, and your engagement is an activation. Let this chapter be about unlocking every dream you thought was forgotten. The universe hears you, and what you release here today echoes far beyond what your eyes can see. Something invisible is shifting. Something divine is aligning. Watch closely. Speak boldly. Type intentionally. What you declare now sets a chain reaction in motion. Now, chosen one, press the hype button and like this video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's begin. The ground you've been standing on has been temporary, but the space ahead is established. The weariness you felt wasn't because you were weak. It was because you were transitioning. You've been between places, between promises, between chapters. You've been holding on while everything familiar felt like it was falling away, but it wasn't falling apart. It was falling in place. There was divine movement occurring underneath what seemed like instability. The unfamiliar was preparing you. The tension was tuning you. And now what you're stepping into isn't just a house. It's a new atmosphere for your soul. This isn't a rental blessing. This is permanent peace. You won't have to keep checking over your shoulder. You won't have to worry if it's too good to be true. What God prepared for you doesn't expire. It doesn't need fixing. You don't have to beg to keep it. What's coming is sealed. This home has your name written in the foundation, and you'll know it when you walk in. Not just with your eyes, but with your spirit. Peace will meet you at the door. Rest will greet you in the hallway. Overflow will be present in the rooms. The old fear won't be able to follow you here. The anxiety that used to cling to you won't survive this atmosphere. You've entered the season where God's intention becomes your environment. You've outgrown the space you were in, and that's why everything started to feel uncomfortable. You didn't lose your place. You were being released from it. You were never meant to stay small. You weren't created to remain hidden. The walls were shrinking not because you failed, but because you were evolving. The pressure wasn't punishment. It was a prophecy unfolding. And now you're standing at the threshold of the very thing that once felt distant. The vision that once seemed delayed is now right in front of you. The steps you took in faith, even when you couldn't see the way, have brought you to this divine door. The home God prepared for you is more than shelter. It's strategy. It's not just comfort, it's calling. Everything inside it will speak to your purpose. It will feel like peace because it is peace. And when you step in, you'll realize that this is what all the waiting was for. The tears had a purpose. The silence had a schedule. The delays were disguised alignments. God didn't forget you. He was setting the stage for your entrance. What's been prepared wasn't thrown together. It was orchestrated. Every corner was designed with you in mind. Every window sees what you're meant to view. Every space is holy ground because it's been touched by divine intention. Don't be surprised when you walk into this season and recognize things you never asked for. That's because God didn't just answer your prayers, He exceeded them. This isn't just the fulfillment of a request. This is the arrival of a reward. You stayed faithful in unfamiliar places. You kept walking when it felt like you had no map. And because of that, God is placing you where you can finally exhale. No more survival. No more scraping by. No more wondering when your turn will come. This is it. The shift is here. And it's not a whisper, it's a declaration. God is saying, welcome home. People may not understand why you suddenly glow different. They won't get why you seem more settled, more joyful, more present. It's because your soul finally found alignment. Your spirit finally landed where it was always meant to be. You no longer have to explain your journey to anyone who didn't walk it with you. The results will speak louder than your words ever could. You are not who you used to be. You've been renewed by fire. You've been refined by pressure. And now you're stepping into the blessing that was always part of your story. There were moments when you questioned if it would ever happen. Nights when you cried not out of weakness, but out of weariness. You gave when you had little. You hoped when everything looked hopeless. And now God is honoring that kind of resilience. Not with small blessings, but with a new reality. This isn't compensation, it's confirmation. This home is the sign that the process was never in vain. The preparation was painful, but it was perfect. And now peace isn't just coming to visit, it's coming to stay. This next season of your life will feel like breath. You've been holding yours for so long, unsure of what's next. But now you can breathe again. Not cautiously, but confidently, because you're not just entering a new space. You're stepping into a divine flow. Doors will open that you didn't knock on. Resources will arrive that you didn't chase. Support will surround you that you didn't request. Why? Because the environment has changed. You've crossed into the territory where favor flows freely, where blessings locate you, where alignment meets acceleration. This is the land of fulfillment, and God prepared it just for you. You're not late. You're right on time. You're not behind. You're right where God designed. And this new home is the reflection of divine timing. It's not just about brick and wood, it's about blueprint and worship. You're stepping into a structure that holds your legacy. This is the space where your future will grow, where your peace will expand, where your story will shift. And from this home, your voice will rise, your impact will increase, your clarity will return. What was blurry will now be brilliant. What was painful will now produce. This house holds healing. It holds harmony. It holds hope. And as you settle in, you'll notice something powerful. The battles you fought outside won't follow you inside. The noise you escaped will not be allowed in. The enemies that surrounded you in the wilderness won't survive this promised place. You are guarded by grace now, covered in favor, surrounded by divine peace. And from this position, you'll begin to create with freedom, to rest without fear, to dream without limits, because you are safe. Because God Himself prepared this for you, because this is where your soul belongs. The silence in this new home will not feel empty. It will feel sacred. It's the kind of silence that speaks, that fills the air with assurance. Every wall is carrying the memory of what you survived, but instead of echoing pain, it now reflects purpose. The ceiling no longer feels like a limit. It's been lifted. You are no longer boxed in by what you once accepted as your ceiling. God didn't bring you this far to keep you confined. He opened the heavens over your life. And now your home reflects the abundance that was always destined to find you. This new space will feel familiar, not because you've been there before, but because your spirit has long been calling it in. That deep yearning, that tug you couldn't name, it was the vibration of your soul pulling what was prepared into your physical reality. You may have thought you were just desiring peace, but peace was also desiring you. You were not simply praying for a home. Your home was being aligned to receive you. Every delay was part of the perfect arrival moment. Every not yet was a holy pause. God wasn't withholding. He was making it ready. And now that it's ready, it's unstoppable. This place is not just for your comfort, it's for your calling. The space was not just built, it was consecrated. You are going to do things here that the past version of you could only dream about. New visions will arise from this atmosphere. Your creativity will be stirred. Your sleep will be deeper. Your mornings will begin with clarity. You won't feel lost anymore. The fog will lift because the environment is pure. This is what it feels like when you're no longer surviving chaos, but thriving in peace. You were built for this shift. Your journey wasn't random. It was a divine road to this exact destination. God knew what would make your heart settle. He knew what scent would make your body relax, what view would awaken your vision, what textures would comfort your hands, what natural light would warm your soul. He crafted this place with intimate knowledge of you. And when you walk in, you won't need anyone to explain why it's right. You'll just know. Your body will respond, your spirit will settle, your breath will deepen. Peace will announce itself in every corner. You are not visiting peace anymore, you're living in it. This is the season where God shows you that He doesn't just restore, He redesigns. You're not going back to the version of you that once felt safe. You're moving forward into a version of you that's deeply rooted in truth. This home is a mirror. It reflects what you've become. It reveals how far you've come. It reminds you that you didn't crumble. You ascended. You didn't give up. You grew through it. And now the reward is more than just rest. It's the reality that you can be whole again, that you can trust again, that you can open the windows and let the breeze carry the scent of a fresh season. And in that home, the whispers of doubt will finally fade. Not because you force them away, but because they no longer belong in the frequency of your life. You've upgraded spiritually, and your environment must match your elevation. This is no longer the time to shrink. This is the moment to expand, to walk barefoot on floors that were prayed over, to sit still in rooms filled with divine downloads. To create from a place of overflow, not survival. You are not decorating a house. You are establishing a sanctuary, a headquarters for your destiny, a spiritual command center disguised as a peaceful home. What you've stepped into is more than you imagined. The colors speak calm. The air carries reverence. And every object that enters this space must agree with the energy of purpose. This is not a place for clutter spiritually or physically. This is a dwelling of intentionality, of alignment, of precision, because peace is not a vague feeling. It is a structured environment birthed through divine orchestration. And your new home has been set up to carry your expansion with grace. Don't be surprised if tears come suddenly. The relief will speak louder than words. You don't have to explain your gratitude. The way you move through the space will show it. The quiet mornings, the joyful laughter, the spontaneous songs that bubble up in the kitchen. It's all part of the healing. Your healing doesn't have to be dramatic. It can be sacredly soft. It can show up as laughter where there once was silence, as dancing barefoot in your living room, because your spirit feels light. That's what this place was meant for. It's not just shelter, it's sacred rhythm. And when you wake up each morning, you'll feel the divine signature of God all around you. Even your dreams will begin to change. They'll become clearer, bolder, more vivid. Why? Because you've shifted dimensions. You've entered a space where heaven and earth are touching. Where downloads come while you're brushing your teeth, where sudden ideas spark while you're folding clothes. This home is a portal. It's more than aesthetic. It's energetic. It was prepared in divine stillness, and now it pulses with divine sound. The people assigned to your next season will feel drawn to this space. They'll feel peace the moment they enter because your home is an extension of your anointing. It's not just where you live. It's where legacy breathes. The right partnerships will form in this environment. Ideas will be born around your dining table. Tears will be healed in the comfort of your rooms. Prayer will fill the air like music. Laughter will echo like celebration. You'll realize that the blessing wasn't just the home. It was what the home activates in you. God didn't just open a door. He unlocked a dimension. You are not just changing locations. You are crossing thresholds of destiny. You are no longer waiting. You are walking. The waiting room is behind you. The welcome mat is under your feet. And heaven is watching you step fully into your prepared space. This isn't just about physical space. It's about spiritual placement. You've been stationed. You've been assigned. You've been located by peace, and now you must live like you believe it. The fight to get here wasn't easy. But now that you've arrived, you'll understand why it had to be this way. If it came easy, you might not have honored it the same way. If it came fast, you might have doubted its foundation. But because it came through process, through faith, through endurance, you'll cherish every inch. You'll bless the floors. You'll thank God for the view. You'll sit in silence and remember what it cost to arrive here. Not with sorrow, but with sacred joy. Because now, God prepares with precision. This home wasn't found. It was revealed. And now that it's yours, everything changes. The air in this new chapter carries a softness you haven't felt in a long time. It doesn't rush you. It doesn't pressure you. It welcomes you. There's no urgency in the atmosphere anymore, just divine rhythm. You are no longer sprinting just to catch your breath. You are walking in sync with what has already been prepared. This is the part of the journey where the path rises to meet your feet. You're no longer guessing if you're in the right place. You're in the heart of it. You're dwelling in a space that's been infused with divine calm. And that calm is beginning to shape your decisions, your emotions, your pace. God didn't just give you a home. He gave you rest in the form of walls. He gave you serenity in the shape of rooms. He gave you confirmation through keys. This isn't the end of the journey. This is the beginning of movement from a place of anchoring. You're no longer moving out of fear. You're moving from security. This is what it feels like to be rooted in peace. This is what it looks like when your internal world aligns with your external environment. You are no longer carrying chaos inside while pretending everything's fine outside. There's a real match now. The peace within you and around you are speaking the same language. This is the season where miracles won't feel like interruptions. They'll feel like natural outcomes. The new home is not the prize, it's the platform. It's the base for everything else that's coming. You're about to create from a place that holds your essence. Your thoughts will stretch without boundaries. Your plans will expand without fear. The walls won't hold you. They'll echo your clarity. The floors won't confine you. They'll carry your next steps. Everything here is responding to your new frequency. Even the silence feels alive with promise. God was never trying to break you with the waiting. He was building you with it. The pause wasn't punishment. It was a holy preparation. And now that you've entered the place He designed, every piece of the puzzle starts to make sense. The nights you questioned your path, the mornings you had to push yourself out of bed, the seasons where you had to keep showing up even when everything felt heavy. None of it was wasted. It all built this moment. It all constructed the foundation of this new space. Not just a home on the outside, but a structure inside you. Stronger, deeper, wiser. This new chapter comes with a different kind of silence. The kind that comforts, not isolates. You're not alone anymore. You're aligned. The solitude in this home won't sting. It will soothe. You're not hiding, you're healing. You're not being excluded, you're being elevated. And when people wonder where you've been, the answer will be simple. You've been becoming. You've been planted, not buried. You've been constructed, not ignored. You've been hidden for safekeeping, not for forgetting. And now that you've arrived, everything that's for you will recognize the glow of God on your life. Your new environment will attract what belongs to this version of you. The people, the opportunities, the revelations, they will all find their way to your door. You don't need to knock down walls anymore. Favor flows in this dimension. You don't need to shout to be seen. Presence speaks louder here. You don't have to hustle for your worth. Your being is enough. Your home carries the evidence. The proof is not in the noise, it's in the peace. Your atmosphere will begin to reveal your authority. You're not chasing rooms, you're preparing them just by being in them. You'll begin to hear God more clearly in this space. Not because He wasn't speaking before, but because now your surroundings are no longer full of interference. The static is gone. The spiritual pollution has cleared. What used to confuse you now becomes obvious. What you used to wrestle with in prayer will now become a conversation of clarity. You won't be pleading, you'll be communing. This is what it feels like when the home around you supports the God within you. every prayer will rise from a place of confidence. You're not praying from lack, you're praying from alignment. There will be days where you wake up and forget you ever struggled to believe this was possible. That's how deep peace goes. It begins to rewrite memory. You won't forget the lessons, but the pain will lose its sharpness. What used to ache now affirms what once made you cry will now make you smile, because you will look around and see that God really did it. He really brought you through. He really kept his promise. He really had something waiting for you that was better than what you were trying to hold on to. This isn't just about rest, it's about reign. You've stepped into territory that was assigned to you. Your home is not just a shelter, it's a crown. It carries weight. It commands attention in the spirit realm. The enemy tried to stop you from getting here because he knew what would awaken once you arrived. He tried to keep you distracted, discouraged, delayed, but he couldn't deny you what was already marked with your name. What's yours cannot be blocked. What's sealed by God cannot be undone. And this new home carries divine security. You will begin to move differently. You'll eat differently, think differently, love differently. Your standards will shift, not from arrogance, but from awareness. You know now what it costs to arrive here, and you won't allow anything into your space that dishonors that journey. This home is holy. Your peace is priceless. Your presence is powerful. What enters must align and what doesn't. It won't be entertained. You've waited too long, grown too deep, healed too much to let the old back in. You are guarding your new because you understand its value. This isn't just where you live. This is where you launch, where your ideas are born, where your impact takes shape, where your words carry new weight. The messages you release from this space will carry a sound that awakens others. People will sense the difference. They'll hear the peace in your voice. They'll feel the presence in your words because your home is a reflection of your new realm. You don't have to announce the shift. It will speak for itself. The season of wandering is over. You are rooted. You are home. You no longer need to convince yourself that something better is coming. It's already here. You're walking proof that what God prepares can outlive every storm, every delay, every denial. Your feet are standing in a space that was shaped by divine hands before you even knew to ask for it. This place didn't happen by luck. It was birthed from a promise. And you've arrived not as a visitor, but as the rightful resident of what's been spiritually deed to you. You're not trespassing. You're home. And that realization will settle something deep within you that nothing external ever could. Even your body will begin to respond differently in this space. The tension you've been carrying in your shoulders will loosen. The tightness in your chest will fade. Your breath will become deeper. Your sleep will become richer. Not because your circumstances suddenly became perfect, but because your soul now has an environment that supports healing. God didn't just prepare a home with walls. He prepared a sanctuary for your nervous system, a dwelling place for your mind to rest and your heart to feel safe again. The noise of survival has ended. The melody of peace has begun. The neighbors may not know what just moved in, but heaven does. Your presence in that space is not just practical, it's prophetic. You carry an assignment, and now you have a location that matches the weight of it. Don't underestimate the power of simply being. You are a carrier of light. And now that your space reflects your inner world, your presence will create ripples you can't yet see. Divine energy flows from you more freely. Now the burdens have been lifted. You've been strategically placed not just to receive, but to release what's inside of you with boldness and clarity. This home will witness your transformation. It will see your tears of relief, your laughter in the early morning light, your bold declarations spoken into the walls. It will be the place where you recalibrate, where you write the next chapter without interruption, where you rest, not because you're exhausted, but because you're anchored. You'll begin to understand that peace isn't passive. It's a portal. A peace-filled home becomes a gate to another dimension, and you're not just stepping into a home, you're stepping into a new frequency of favor. There's a reason it took time. The delay wasn't just about timing, it was about growth. You had to become the person who could hold what God was about to hand you. You had to become someone who wouldn't shrink under the weight of the blessing. And now that you've evolved, you're not just receiving a new space, you're receiving a new identity. You've become someone who lives in alignment, who chooses peace without guilt, who makes decisions from presence, not panic. Your new home reflects this inner maturity, and something else will happen. Your old desires will begin to fade. What once fascinated you won't interest you anymore, not because you've lost your fire, but because your vision has been elevated. What satisfied you when you were surviving won't be enough now that you're living in overflow. You'll crave deeper connections, slower mornings, more intentional experiences. You won't need the noise, you'll choose the stillness because now you understand the sacredness of space, the divine importance of what you allow in your atmosphere. And it's in this very atmosphere that new visions will take root. You'll begin dreaming again. Not just hopes, but plans. Not just someday ideas, but divine blueprints. You'll feel inspired in places that once triggered anxiety. You'll walk through the hallways and suddenly receive a download of clarity. You'll sit down to rest and receive a word so sharp, so direct, you'll have to grab a pen and write it down immediately. This home is not passive, it's prophetic. The presence of God dwells here, not as a guest, but as a guide. Even your relationships will begin to shift. Some will quietly exit, not because of conflict, but because the frequency has changed. Others will arrive unexpectedly, aligned and divinely appointed. This new space comes with new agreements, new alignments. You won't need to force connections. The right people will feel at home in your peace. The wrong ones will feel unsettled. That's how powerful the energy of your home will be. It will do the filtering for you. You won't have to explain or defend. Your atmosphere will speak your boundaries before you even open your mouth. And in this atmosphere, your voice will change. Not just the way you speak, but the way you carry truth, the way you release energy, the way you claim your authority. Your words will become weightier because they will no longer be carrying the dust of chaos. They'll carry clarity. They'll carry healing. They'll carry presence. Because when you are truly at home spiritually, emotionally, physically, you speak differently, you move differently, you attract differently. This home will become the place where your miracles multiply. What starts as small favor will begin to snowball. A phone call, an email, a divine idea, a connection that leads to the fulfillment of something you've been carrying for years. Suddenly, it will all seem to happen quickly. But it's not sudden. It's been building. The energy of your home will carry these manifestations. Your atmosphere is now in agreement with your assignment. There is no more resistance, no more warfare over territory. This land is claimed. This space is blessed. The heavens are open here. And you will no longer question if you're worthy of it. You will no longer shrink in your own story. You will no longer question if you deserve the peace that now surrounds you. You won't apologize for your joy. You won't doubt your provision. God did not bring you this far to leave you wondering. This isn't a temporary relief. It's a permanent positioning. The guilt of receiving will fall off of you like an old garment, because what you're walking in now was always meant for you. You were born for this rhythm. You were created to live in this stillness, and now your soul has caught up to the future your spirit always saw. The days of chaos being your default are over. The old cycle is closed, that pattern of always expecting the worst, always preparing for disruption, always tensing for the unexpected blow. It no longer fits. You are being reconditioned for calm. You are being taught how to breathe deeply, how to enjoy without flinching, how to celebrate without looking over your shoulder. This is what God meant when he said, "Peace that surpasses understanding." It doesn't make sense to others, but it fits you perfectly. It wraps around your life like a tailor-made gift. There's no need to be hyper-vigilant anymore. You don't have to constantly scan for danger. This house is guarded by something unseen. Favor stands at the door. Protection sits at the windows. Angels rest on the rooftop. This home was built not just to shelter you, but to shield you. It was constructed with spiritual blueprints. And even though others may only see bricks and beams, you know the truth. This is a sanctuary, a fortress of divine peace. The frequency of the space is different now because you're not the same person you used to be. What used to drain you will no longer have access to your energy. What used to distract you will feel irrelevant. You've entered an environment where clarity leads and confusion dissolves. Even your thoughts have shifted. You no longer dwell in doubt. You dwell in direction. The fog is cleared. You see what's next, not with fear, but with fire. And every step you take in this new home is aligned with divine momentum. You will start to recognize patterns that once sabotaged your peace. And now you'll have the power to break them. You'll feel it immediately when something doesn't belong. Your discernment has sharpened. Your atmosphere has become so aligned with divine truth that anything out of order will feel like dissonance. That's not paranoia. That's peace protecting itself. And you'll honor it. You won't second-guess the nudges anymore. You'll move with certainty because peace has become your compass. This home will begin to reveal layers of you that you didn't know existed. The creative part, the joyful part, the rested, radiant, unbothered version of you. You'll hear yourself laugh differently, full, deep, unfiltered. You'll catch glimpses of yourself in the mirror and notice the light returning to your eyes. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are present. You're no longer stuck in survival mode. You've stepped into sacred living. There's a difference, and it's written all over you. This place will witness some of your most powerful breakthroughs, moments where you collapse in grateful silence because everything finally makes sense. Moments where you write ideas that feel like they came straight from the throne room. Moments where you dance by yourself with no music, just gratitude pulsing through your veins. Moments where you cry, not from sadness, but from the overwhelming awareness that you made it, that God really did prepare something just for you. And from this home, the ripple effect begins. Your peace will begin to heal others just by proximity. Friends will enter your space and leave lighter. Family will visit and feel their anxiety melt away. Even strangers will sense that something sacred lives here. Because peace is contagious when it's pure. And yours is pure, refined through fire, cleansed through storms, solidified through faith. You didn't inherit this peace, you became it. And now everything around you reflects what you carry within. This is the holy result of divine preparation, and you'll start to see how the pain led to peace. The rejection led to redirection. The closed doors led to this open one. You won't need revenge. You won't crave validation. You won't seek explanation. Peace will have done its work. It will have settled you so deeply that nothing external can shake what's internal. The noise may still exist, but it won't have access to you. You're not above it out of pride. You're beyond it by purpose.